Alright, this is the follow-up video to NTRI Nutrisystems. We put the pick out last night. Remember we said, let me see if I can get my drawing tool going here. We said we kind of had stacked catalysts, that wedge formation right there, and it didn't break out today, but I'll go to the intraday and show you. It still gave a decent profit. Wish that thing would disappear. Go to fives. Now, this is the opening candle from this morning. One mistake I made was really calling anything this week. If you're trading at all, you know what I'm talking about. Extremely low volume, very little follow through on anything. It's just horrendous as far as trading goes. I've actually already announced to the chat room I will not be calling anything tonight for tomorrow. The market's closed on Friday. Volume's gotten progressively worse this week as far as just not there. And so we won't be trading tomorrow. I mean, I'm going to open the chat room and let them all chill and converse and call trades if they want, but I won't be calling anything tomorrow. And we'll pick it back up Monday when hopefully the volume comes back. But that said, let's look at NTRI here. Let's get this out of the way. This is the opening 5-minute candle. Took off a little bit. Now remember, actually I'm going to zoom out and show you yesterday. Remember we said our first catalyst was over this area. That's supposed to be a circle. It's pretty bad. Our first catalyst was up over this tight base from yesterday afternoon. Okay, 1756. Well, remember, that was based on a normal open, and it gapped down and then sold off and then bounced and sold off even some more. So I did not take this, and I told the room the volume's a little bit light. And it's already made a move. Okay, here's the intraday thinking we talk about that we're going to follow up. It had already made a move from 1727. Now that I got yesterday's on there, let me zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, there is just today's candles. It had already made a move from its low of 1727 to get to that catalyst we talked about, 1756. Okay, I don't want to be the guy to buy this at 1756 or 57 or whatever when it's already made a move like that. Okay, that's extended. It's already from its lows. Now, can you remember we say we don't know how it's going to trade when it opens. So we didn't know it was going to gap down a little bit and sell off some more. Okay, so that's why this was a no trade at the trigger price, which was right here, because it had already made this move. And if you did take it there, then you would have had to endure this pullback and had the danger of going, oh man, I screwed up, selling down here and then watching it take off. So it's always very important to look at where it's come from before you buy it, even if it gets to what you think is a possible catalyst price. Okay, so that's the thinking here, and that's why I said it's not an official call because of the way it traded this morning. Now, it did come up and put in a high of 1764 right here, okay? And then pulled back and then put in this nice tight base. So then I did call it over this base. I think, let me get the lines out of the way. This base had a high of 1760. I called it at 1761. Said that might get you through the earlier high of day. I still love the daily chart. This could get going. And the worst case stop below this base at 1755. So 6 cents risk, 1761, pretty quickly to 1775. So already a nice little profit to sell some into, okay? And your original stop held, and then ultimately it went to 1795. So a decent little trade. Again, there wasn't much out there today. There were some stocks that took off right off the bat, but you know, you had to chase them to catch them. So as far as low risk setups, very little happened today. But NTRI gave us a little profit. All right, let me show you the daily because I really like it still. And if you're going to trade tomorrow, I would still keep this on your radar. Remember, when we put out a free pick, it doesn't necessarily mean it's got to happen the next day. But it did have a nice move. And 1795 was today's high. So if I were trading tomorrow, I'd be watching this for a break of 1795, looking for that secondary catalyst of a break of this high right here, which is about a week ago. 1806 was a high. So you have catalysts of, or trigger prices, if you will, 1796 and 1807. I really like this if it gets over 1806. If it gets to 1807, you just have 1841 to the left, a break of this high, and you could get a nice breakout in Nutrisystems. Again, it's not worth owning it overnight, even though I love the setup, because we don't know how the market's going to open tomorrow. A lot of data coming out tomorrow. But keep this on your radar. I may even log in tomorrow, and if I can catch this breaking through 1806, I might take a trade, depending on how it trades, again, on an intraday basis. I'm going to share a couple, go to the, share a couple with you from today. Well, that was weird. ARQL, huge gap up, okay? Now, we talked about this in one of our other videos. These crazy stocks are probably better left alone. It was kind of my thinking a long time ago. But now we found that if you do follow them, you might get a low-risk setup, and they get a lot of passion behind the moves, okay? So looking at ARQL, we called this at 7, get that out of the way here. This was from today. We called this at 7:05, right here. That's supposed to be an arrow. For a trade, okay, and it quickly went to, let me get the line out of the way, it quickly went to 749. That's a nice percentage move, and you know, scaled out into that. So that was one decent trade from today. And ABIO, another crazy one. Let me show you the daily, show you what I'm talking about. That is a huge crazy move, but again, if you saw that video we talked about, oftentimes these give nice setups. Now, one of our members posted this, and I missed it on 15s. I was off doing something else, but other members were able to catch this at a 534 trigger right here, worst case stop down here, and the stop held, and the thing went all the way to 598. So a great percentage gain there by some of our members. I didn't even see the post. I was off looking for other ideas, but still, I guess kind of another benefit to the chat room. A lot of people looking for setups, and many benefited from ABIO. Now, that said, I actually did call this later in the day. Remember that crazy daily I showed you, and that kind of explains why you get you know, some of the passion behind the moves. I actually called this later in the day. This is zoomed in 5s. This is 1 o'clock right here. You can kind of see a tight base right here. I'm sorry, that's 15s. Let me fix that. 5 shows it better. Now I got to zoom back out. Okay. Here's the base I called later in the day. And the reason I like it is because we already knew we had possible passion behind this stock, okay? And we had a tight base here. I'll get those lines out of the way. The highs at this base, 573, all along in here. So I alerted the room. There was your kind of your resistance. I alerted the room during this candle right here, one of these two candles, that 574 could work. Dime stop right here down below this base, 574. Pretty quickly, it doesn't seem like much, but pretty quickly to 595. And plenty of volume. You can see almost probably 500,000 shares traded in that 15-minute period, maybe even more than that. So plenty of volume to handle decent size, and I actually did have a very nice trade in there. Took a fairly big position because of the tight stop. It was only a dime risk, and then as it popped, started selling. So that's a couple examples, again, kind of alluding to that previous video we had about some of these stocks that make crazy moves are worth having on radar just for intraday trades, okay? In the past, I would have said I'm not even going to touch it, and now I've learned that they do give some low-risk setup. So I'm going to wrap this up. Won't be any more free picks this week because the volume's so weak, but keep NTRI on your radar. Looks like a possible breakout above here, and then sometime next week we will try to follow up with another free pick. Have a great holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.